Hey, what's up guys, how are we? So today we're going to do the old TomTom video, finally. This has turned up today, this clamp. So the idea of this is I'm going to stick this on the bars so the GoPro can zoom in on the TomTom when we're riding around, so you can see how slick the software is compared to the old one. But before we do that, I'm going to take it down here, I'm going to start it up, I'm going to show you the whole procedure, I'm going to show you the opening pages, how the menu operates, all that sort of stuff. It's still a bit new to me, but I've been using it sort of a few days just to test it out, to get used to the menu system. It is completely different to the old one, so it's taken me a while to sort of adapt to it. But my initial feelings are, it's a lot slicker, it's a lot faster, the way it operates is a lot smoother. The whole OS system has been updated, so it just looks a lot more modern, a lot less glitchy and clunky the way it moves. But it's the cost. It's £429, which is what I paid for it initially, which at the time it's not too bad, but you can get an app on your phone which pretty much does the same thing. I mean, TomTom do an app, as do Garmin, I believe, which is obviously a lot cheaper. But I just like to have a standalone unit as a GPS system. I don't like keep using my phone constantly and having it constantly on charge. If I lose the phone, I've also lost the GPS at the same time if I do it that way. So if I lose the GPS, at least I've got the GPS on the phone as a backup should I need it, but that's never happened, so that's okay. So yeah, it's the cost, so £429. I got mine from a company called, in the UK you might have heard of them, they're called Very. They do a very kind of easy, no questions asked, 12 months interest-free credit, which you can pay off online, and so that kind of takes the sting out of the cost. They did reimburse me £45 because it dropped down in price from the main manufacturers, so they gave me back 45 quid in credit, which is, you know, good, but it's still, you know, that brings it down to what, 370 or something like that. It just seems a lot of money for a technology which isn't exactly cutting edge at the moment. You know, GPS has been around for years. So, and the equivalent car one, you know, a TomTom car unit is about 150–200 quid. So I guess what you're paying for is the waterproofing of it and the ability to use it as a touchscreen with your gloves on. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts, but all in all I'm very pleased with it. So let's have a look and see how it operates. Alright, let's go. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. Get right up close to the screen so you can see all the details. That should do it. Alright, first one I'm going to do obviously is turn it on. Now the actual startup of this one is a little bit slower than the previous one, only by a few seconds. It's not something that particularly bothers me, but just so you're aware, you're going to lose a few seconds on the startup if you buy this new one compared to the old one. I guess there's a lot more to it, you know, there's a lot more, it requires a lot more memory because there's a lot more going on with the OS system, so it requires a bit more time to get ready, which is fair enough. Okay, so the first screen that you are greeted with is your sort of general location. And one of the benefits of this one, which I noticed immediately when I turned it on for the first time indoors, was it can get your position whilst you're indoors, and the old one could not do that. Well, my one certainly couldn't. It could be something to do with the fact that I lived in a block of flats and it's quite a built-up area. But this new one can do it. It takes a few seconds to find out where I am, so it must have a lot more of a sensitive thing to pick up the satellites from. So okay, this is your first page that you're greeted with. Just along the left hand side there you've got your menu buttons, which are the top and the bottom, and then your zoom key, and the top one there, the little arrow, is to the view you get as you're riding along, the sort of behind the rider view. On the right here is your destination timeline. It's got the current time at the bottom. At the moment I'm in Hithergreen and my destination is Greenwich. Now that's only 2.25 miles. It's a journey that I do all the time, and I don't use a GPS for it, obviously. It's telling me that it will take me just over 10 minutes to get there, which is about right. It's 2.25 miles depending on the traffic. I never really go by the time anyway, because it takes as long as it takes. You know, traffic could be built up quite heavy around there, which it often is. The thing I do look out for if I'm doing any sort of long journey is the checkered flag and the amount of time it will take me to get from my current destination to the end destination. And that checkered flag there moves along closer to your arrow the closer you get to that point. Okay, so let's just go through all the keys and see what we've got here. So down the bottom, that's on that one. This is your sort of main menu. If you want to go and search for a particular place, obviously you hit search, and you can type in your postcode, you can type in a point of interest, you can click on the map and just use that as a destination marker. Countless options there, quite similar to the old one. The difference between the old one and this one, the Plan a Thrill one, if I just click on that, it brings up the map where you are. You click a start point and an end point, and you can choose whether you want a straight journey, a kind of journey with kind of moderate bends and twists, or the most twistiest, bendiest, you know, most fun route it can manage, and that's what that's for. And these little mounted peaks at the top here, if I press on that, that brings up, you can choose your route via elevation. If you want a route that's sort of as close to sea level as possible, you go for the first one. If you want one that's got a few hills and mountains in it, go for the second one. If you want to go for the highest peak possible, obviously you go for the last one. So that's that. I mean, that option is great if you're out in, say, Switzerland, where you've got the Alps, or Italy or somewhere like that, or Norway, and you want to go right to the top. That's a great option to have. So let's go back. My routes are, that kind of speaks for itself. It's the routes that you've previously done are saved in there, so you don't have to retype them every time you go back. Your ride home is, obviously you've set your home destination. Click on that and it'll give you the route home from wherever you are. Your current route, that's what we're on at the moment. The phone, you can either if you click on that, you can connect to a headset, like a Sena Bluetooth helmet headset, and you can make calls and receive calls whilst you're riding along. That's quite a handy thing to have. And moving along, you can record your journey, you can find parking spots. Not much of an issue for motorbike, but again, that's quite handy. And also a kind of quick route, a quick button to find petrol stations, which is good. TomTom services is a thing I won't be using. It's basically, you can get real-time traffic information, like it says there, updates for fixed and mobile speed cameras. The thing is with these ones, it tells you when there's a speed camera approaching anyway, so there's not much need for that. Well, for me anyway. So let's click back one. My places, home, recent destinations. Okay, that's like just a shortcut. Trip statistics, distance travelled, driving time, average speed, maximum speed. And you can set that from either just today or all time. So that's quite a good thing to do, especially if you're doing a long trip. You want to see what all your stats are. And the last one is sort of general kind of appearance, Bluetooth communications, what voice you want to use, the maps, whether you're in the UK or America or Canada, planning a route, whether you want to use miles per hour or kilometers, sounds and warnings. I've got all mine turned off apart from the speed cameras. Language and units, obviously that speaks for itself. System software is if you want to update it via USB. Okay, so let's go back. So it was there, and go back to the main screen. So that's all that button. If we click on the top one, this is basically a shortcut. You can either turn the volume on and have it maximum, as you can hear, but I don't need that because obviously I'm riding on the bike, I won't be able to hear it anyway, so that's sound off. Just go back in there. The other one is nighttime. When it does turn to night, the map changes colour, so it resembles nighttime more. I guess it's more easy on the eye as you're riding along, less of a glare. I always leave mine on the brightest setting anyway, which is this one. And the voice settings is, obviously I haven't got a Bluetooth system set up at the moment, but when I do, I shall turn that on, and I shall use that for sort of speed camera warnings and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so let's go back. Okay, so let's say we've got our route here, which is what this is. I can either, using the bottom one, zoom in and just check the route. If it'll bring it up, might be a little bit slow. Doesn't want to do it. Alright, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. So let's see. So that arrow at the top there, that's to basically get the journey started. So you click on that one, and there you go. That's the route that's the spot I'm currently at. Now because I'm indoors, it's not giving me the route, it hasn't come up yet, but as soon as I get outside, that will show up. Yeah, and that's it, you're ready to go. And then from that point, you can either zoom in, zoom out. You can have it quite far out actually, so you can get a sort of further view of where you're going. And you can, of course, when you're on the bike, I don't know if it'll do on this one. No, it won't do it because it's the car thing, but obviously you can twist that and you can get a greater view of the horizon. Alright, so I think that covers it, all the sort of basic pages and all the basic settings. Let's get on the road, and I'm going to use that same route so you can see it in action. And what I'll do is I'll take a few wrong turns, kind of let it test it a little bit so it can correct itself, and you can see how it operates and how smooth it is compared to the old one. Alright, let's get out there.